Gaming is a constant source of joy for me, so pre ordering the physical edition of Split Fiction on the Nintendo Switch 2 was supposed to be another satisfying moment. I even saved the confirmation email like a little digital trophy. Naturally, I shared it with a friend on Discord. Seconds later, he replied, "You know that doesn't come with a cartridge, right? Just a code in a box." And just like that, the excitement disappeared. I felt duped, frustrated. I messaged back. I didn't realize. If that's true, I am not buying it. And I meant it. I wasn't about to pay full price for a case with no game inside, just a code I can only use once. Pre order canceled. Hype gone. Another letdown for people who still value physical games. Split Fiction? More like split expectations. This isn't just about one title. It's about a broader issue in the industry. So-called code in a box releases. Here's what they are. A case, shrink wrap, official cover art. But inside, no cartridge, no disc. Just a slip of paper with a one-time use download code. It's not extra content. That is the game. And unless you study the fine print, you'd never know. These cases are sold and priced like physical games. They sit on shelves next to real ones, but they're not physical. They're digital games in physical cosplay. If you care about collecting, preserving, or simply knowing what you're buying, this is a problem. It's not just a shortcut, it's misleading. The damage? It goes beyond disappointment. With a code in a box, you lose what makes physical media valuable. You can't lend it, you can't resell it, you can't archive it, and when that storefront closes, so does your access. What's left? A case with no purpose, a prop, once redeemed and has no utility. Meanwhile, the publisher saves on production, dodges the secondhand market, and sells you a product that's barely tangible. And when you push back, they point to the small disclaimer. Like that justifies it. This isn't a harmless oversight. It's a business strategy, and it's spreading. The most common excuse? The game is too large for a cartridge. In some cases, that's true, especially on the Nintendo Switch 2, which currently caps cartridge size at 64 GBs. If a game is larger than that, it simply won't fit. I get it. No one's asking for miracles or for games to be compressed into blurry shadows of themselves. But if your game cannot be distributed physically, then sell it as digital only and say so clearly. We already have digital racks in stores, those cardboard displays with eShop and Xbox Live cards. They're honest. You see the words digital download right on the front. So why not use those? Because download cards don't get prime shelf space. They don't sit beside Zelda and Mario Kart in the new releases section, and they don't trick anyone into thinking they're buying a real physical product. Some publishers want the marketing power of a box release, without the product that justifies it. It's cost-cutting disguised as convenience. Ironically, Nintendo saw this issue coming, and actually tried to address it. With the Switch 2, they're introducing game key cards. These look and function like regular cartridges, but instead of containing the full game data, they provide a secure license that lets you download the game online. The key difference is where ownership lives. It's tied to the cartridge, not your user account. That means you can lend it, sell it, trade it. Even though the game is installed digitally, the physical cartridge still controls access. It's a smart hybrid solution. You get the convenience of digital delivery and the tangible benefits of physical ownership. It's not perfect, and it still raises concerns for long-term preservation, since the data isn't stored on the cartridge itself, but it's a step in the right direction, a meaningful effort to balance modern distribution with traditional ownership. So, did EA use it for Split Fiction? Nope. They went with the usual shortcut, a one-time use code, locked to your account, tucked into a case that becomes pointless once redeemed. Why? Probably because even manufacturing a license-only cartridge costs more than printing nothing. Nintendo offered a better alternative, and some publishers are still choosing to ignore it. Look, I love digital games. I buy them all the time, especially for indie titles or games I know I will play for years. But when I choose digital, I know what I'm getting. The problem is when companies blur the line, when they sell digital games in physical packaging without making it obvious. That's not offering a choice, that's disguising the truth. And for players like me, who collect, preserve, or just like knowing what we're buying, it's tiring. We're tired of paying full price for an empty case. We're tired of publishers treating physical collectors as an afterthought, or worse, a loophole. We're tired of being misled. This isn't about being old fashioned, it's about trust and how easily it's eroded when the packaging says one thing but delivers another. I still want to play Split Fiction, and thanks to my friend who collects physical and digital games, I'll get to play it. He's buying it anyway and offered to share his friend pass so we can play together. But the experience still left a bad taste. Pre ordering should have been a simple, satisfying moment, just a quick spark of excitement. Instead, it turned into disappointment when I realized what I was actually getting. The listing showed a full box product, just like any other physical release. No bold warnings, no red flags, just the usual cover art and price. Technically, yes, there is a small white box on the mock up image with French text stating it's a code in a box. But let's be honest, that's easy to miss, especially for an English speaking buyer casually scrolling through online listings. If EA had clearly said, this is a digital only title for Switch 2, I would have just bought it digitally. No drama, no cancellation. Instead, they relied on minimal disclosure and hoped people wouldn't look too closely. And that's the part that stings. Not the code itself, but the quiet bait and switch dressed up like business as usual. If that sounds dramatic, maybe it is. But I'd rather be dramatic than let this kind of thing slide without saying something. To the publishers out there, if your game is digital only, just say that. Be clear. Label it properly. Use download cards. Be upfront with people. Putting a code in a shrink wrapped case doesn't make you clever, it just makes you misleading. And to the gamers, check those boxes. Look closely. If you're buying something labeled as physical, make sure it actually is, because publishers are counting on you not to notice the fine print. And Nintendo, if you're serious about game key cards, don't just introduce them. Stand behind them. Set the standard. Make sure your partners actually use them the way they're meant to be used. Because what's at risk here isn't just shelf space or packaging, it's trust. And once that's gone, so is the loyalty, so is the support, so are we. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening to my rant today. If this helped, or if you've ever been burned by a code in a box, hit that like button, drop a comment, and share it with someone who needs the heads up. Let's push for better. Not perfect, just better. Take care of your games and each other. I'll see you on the next one.